Glass Letterbox. This is the general reading for Gemini for February 2021. Again, it is general, so it's not going to connect or resonate with everyone out there, but hopefully there's something interesting or helpful or hopeful that you can take with you as you work your way through February. If you like to work with the environmental influence or the astrological influences, I think most of February is going to be in Mercury retrograde, and a lot of people find that difficult, but what it does is it slows things down. If you struggle with impatience or frustration, that may be a little bit difficult, but the slowing down of things can also be an excellent tool to utilize or influence to utilize, so that you can really take your time and process and come up with efficient strategy or gain greater clarity with whatever it is that you're working on or working towards or hoping for or dealing with. It's going to allow that information to come at a little bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? We have the Hierophant here. Oh, nice. And at a more receivable rate, so you won't be overwhelmed with the process. You'll be able to process it a little bit more slowly. Oh, sweet. The Hierophant and the Nine of Coins. The Hierophant is the card of Taurus, so it may be helpful to speak to a Taurus this month to help you to strategize and plan or find out information you need to be in possession of in order to make your next decision or take your next action. It's also stepping up into higher calling or a position of authority as well with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a leader. It's also about traditions and institutions and like the hierarchy of structures. So if there's some information that you need regarding that, or if you're stepping into a position like that, looks like it's all working out. This is what's just passing out of influence. So if you've been consulting the sages or looking into the systems to see how they work, to see how everything's connecting so that you can navigate those spaces and come up with a solid plan of action or overview of how you'd like to progress throughout February and into the rest of the year, reevaluating things. The Nine of Coins is here. So it looks like in February you're going to be applying everything that you've learned, the wisdom that you've gained, the advice that you've sought out and been giving, and you're going to be able to apply that to manifest in February. So that Mercury retrograde may be supporting you in that, because all of that takes time in order to bring something from thought and intention and activity into tangible manifestation in the coins earthly area. And again, this is Hierophant is also earth energy, so this is very grounded development that's happening here. Nine of Coins is also about your resiliency, your independence, your autonomy, your capability, and how you apply all of those many facets of yourself in order to gain result. And the Nine of Pentacles, point of fruition, related to the Hermit. That's about what you want to experience, the road you want to walk that is individual and specific to you. Coming into influence is the King of Cups and the Five of Swords. Okay, so Five of Swords is about inner conflict. Remember, Swords is about your mental processing, the mental body, your perspective and your decision and the story that you tell yourself about the way that your life is, the way that your life was, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, and all of that filters down into your discernment and how you go about making decision. Coming up with the King of Cups, which is, this is the mental space, this is the emotional space. So this is air and water. King of Cups is about, through this process, because with the Five of Swords, it's a point of conflict, a point of friction, but that's where growth can occur because it's changing your mind about something. And often with the Five of Swords, it's about dealing with inner resistance and sort of getting out of your own way. It's a conflict where you want to do something, you want to decide to do something, you want to take action upon doing something. Something new, something differently, walking away from something, walking into something, whatever it is for you, because it's different for everybody. Everybody has their own stuff going on. But whatever it is for you, you desire to get into a position where you can set out upon taking actionable steps toward those goals. But at the same time, your inner resistance, the doubt, the fear, disillusionment, disappointment, anything in your past that made you believe that, hey, this isn't possible for you. You can't do this. Whether that be within your own assessment or something that you've embodied because of somebody else's opinion of what you can do. So whatever that is in your mental space, in your own perception of yourself and the world, part of this is wanting to decide and fighting to go forward and do it anyway, and then at the same time getting in your own way and preventing you from taking those steps. So processing through that Five of Swords space, applying emotional maturity and engaging in flow, and not allowing the sort of being aware of how your emotional influences can overwhelm your intellectual decision is going to help you to overcome whatever this inner resistance is, so that you can step in and apply this Nine of Coins energy to get to the 10, to get to establishment with the 10 of Coins. That's lovely. Okay. So it's an interesting process. I've been processing through that myself recently. It's difficult because it's hard to change your mind when it's long-held beliefs and inner resistance and sort of standing in your own way sort of rises up to defeat your better intentions. It's an interesting space to be active in, and sometimes a difficult one, but consistency, emotional awareness and maturity and mastery, and allowing things to change, allowing things to evolve, and following through on what you want to do in spite of the doubts that you may have, because everybody has doubts. So leaning into trust that whatever happens as you decide to move forward, leaning into trust and faith that whatever decision you take to move forward, you will be able to navigate that space and handle it and develop it and learn along the way. Lovely. All right, so what do we have for under the Hierophant here? A lot of cards want to come out for you this month, Gemini. My goodness, what's next? Let's clarify this Hierophant. What's happening in the Ten of Wands? Okay, so a lot of responsibility, closing of a cycle of burden, of activity. You can be at the point of overstimulation and overwhelm about all of the activities that saying yes and overcoming this inner resistance to carry forward this Nine of Coins. You may be feeling overwhelmed with the expectation of how you're going to have to operate within that system. So Ten of Wands is the closing of a cycle, everything that you've done up to this point, allowing that to come to a conclusion, absorbing the wisdom and the knowledge and the awareness that you've received up to this point, and then allowing a new cycle to open up. Cycles closing and cycles opening have been very prevalent, certainly last week in the daily readings that I do. All of the cycles closed, the world opened, and all of the aces showed up too. So a key thing with the Ten of Wands, I believe, though, is releasing your expectation of what you think this next stage of progression and involvement is going to require of you. You may have an idea of how you think you're going to have to behave within the sphere of the extending into the new ambition, coming from what you've already previously worked for and fought for and consistently followed through on trying to establish, and that takes time and energy and effort. So if you release your expectation of how you think you're going to have to behave in this new realm, and then assess the situation as you step into it and experience it and allow that to evolve as well, that's going to release some of that burden. Okay, because remember, whatever you're embarking upon, it's connected to your inner drive, your inner passion. It has resonance with you. It's important to you. And also, it brings you joy and satisfaction. So sometimes, especially when we're far into a process or we've been working on for something for so long, some of that joy can be diminished and we forget why we started in the first place. The joy and the excitement and the well-being and the sort of centeredness it provides us with in taking upon ourselves to walk out on that road that we want to exist within. And then the burden and the work and the changes and the transitions and the transformations, it can be overwhelming. But allowing yourself to release that aspect of it and step back into the positive aspect of it, the joyful aspect of it, will make all of the difference, especially with this new wisdom and awareness that you've gained and the autonomy and resilience that you have here, along with the emotional mastery, emotional maturity you have with the King of Cups showing up here. So with the Nine of Coins, we have too many. The Queen of Cups, or sorry, the Queen of Coins, Queen of Coins, more earth energy. Okay, so this is about understanding what is required in order to sustain and manage and grow material abundance, whether it be money, whether it be adding a room onto your home, whether it be seeking higher education for further, professional success or work success, whatever it is that you want to manifest in your real world. The Queen, with the Nine of Coins here, is coming from a position of understanding and authority of how to manage and sustain those things over a long period of time. So this may be that aspect of yourself that has developed and is active at this point, a very capable space for manifestation and growth and management of your real world, outside of yourself, tangible results of all of your effort. Or it can be someone who is assisting you in that. So a partner, a friend, a family member, a mentor, something like that, that is going to further solidify all of your efforts here in applying this wisdom that you've gained in this next stage of activity. Because you've reached the Ten of Wands, so you've hit the next level of activity. In your purpose. All right, and then clarifying the King, or underneath the King and the Five of Swords here, we have the Knave of Coins and the High Priestess. So tapping into, with all this wisdom and experience and knowledge and mentorship and elevation in the status of your ability to engage in whatever it is you're manifesting here. Whatever that is, that's rational and actionable and teachable and learnable and knowable outside of you, everything that you can gain from external influence and education. High Priestess is about tapping into your internal knowing, what you know in your bones, what you know in your soul is in alignment with you, and looking for signs along the way to indicate you the next right way to go while you're applying all of this information and acquisition and growing through the conflict and taking the steps that need to be taken. So tap into your intuition, reconnect with your intuition and that center of knowing while you're making your plans with the Knave of Coins here, because this is related to the Fool, the stepping in with an open heart and a light spirit and a joyful purpose to take a risk on the next level of development, next evolution of the process with the Knave of Coins here. So Gemini, my goodness, whatever you've been doing it well. And you've come to a significant point of awareness, acquisition, establishment, realization, more than just within yourself, in your outward, external world as well. And then informing all of this at the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Coins. So the new opportunity, the next stage, the new level of development is approaching you in February. All right, so release expectation of what it's going to look like. Tap into your intuition to see the signs. Work through points of conflicts where there's resistance that rises up within yourself. Process, if there's a step, the next step to take, if there's something holding you back from taking that step, think about it and say, why am I resisting this? Why am I stepping back when I know in my intuition and in my experience that now is the time to advance, or this is the decision to take? Why am I resisting it? When those issues crop up, tap into, because it may have emotional resonance to you, something in your emotional history or your past that brought you to the person that you are today that's still clinging on to prevent you from advancement for arbitrary reasons. It's not everything that you think of yourself or everything that you've thought of yourself, up until this point. It's not always true. So it's important for everyone to question those things when that resistance does come up, when self-limiting belief and like prohibitive energy sort of comes over you in your thoughts and your understanding of yourself and what you're doing, and there's an incongruency that occurs. It's important to take that moment with the Five of Swords to say, okay, well, why don't I think I can do this? Why am I holding back? What is it that is triggering this response in this situation? So working through that will open you up to, and tapping into your intuition will open you up to receive this Ace of Coins, be receptive to it when it arrives. Okay, beautiful. And let's see where you are on the Enchanted Map with the Enchanted Map Oracle. Two sets of double cards here for Gemini. Well, that figures Gemini is the twins. What's happening for Gemini for February? Education. Okay, so that is backing up the Hierophant here. Let's see, what's the quote for education? Education, life is filled with lessons, be teachable. And in this point of Five of Swords, with the King of Cups here, within the fives are the teachable moments. There's an obstacle to be addressed when you're at a point of 5, with the Hierophant as well, that you are intended to engage with in order to understand how to process through that obstacle, or to master that part of yourself, or to come to a point of clarity or realization that will release you into the next version of yourself. So the fives aren't meant to be avoided. They're meant to be engaged with, because within that friction softens the edges and opens you up to growth so that you can get to the 6, which is the connection and reciprocity and the cyclical nature of exchange. So with education, wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. So this card suggests that you may need a little bit more knowledge about what it is you seek. That could be here with the Five of Swords as well. And the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your inquiry. That's where your intuition is going to tap in as well. So important information is coming. That's the Ace of Coins. So now's the time to go to school, ask a person who might know more than you do, find a teacher or course of study that you can more clearly understand what the next right action must be. Sometimes what you need to know something or have information about something that you wouldn't expect would apply to what it is that you are establishing here. But when you happen to recognize, like, oh, I need to know that thing, I never would have expected as such, it's going to enrich and further reinforce this establishment as well. So now's the time to be open to teachable moments. That's with the High Priestess and the Knave of Coins as well. This is a youthful energy, so about being open and receptive to new ideas, new potential, new plans, new way of seeing things in order to apply them for the future as well. So with all that you know and all that you've experienced and the level of wisdom and awareness that you've reached with the Hierophant, or that you've been consistently working toward with the Hierophant energy here, that's steady, grounded, consistent energy. taking all of that information about tradition and institution and everything that is known and implying an independent spirit and innovating and creating within that space with your intuition and further education into unrelated areas is going to enrich this, allow it to be more manageable and sustainable, and will leave you open to even more opportunity that approaches, because it's going to expand your view of possibility and expand your view of potential in the external and in the internal as well. That is fascinating, Geminis. If you're connecting with this, I'm very excited for you. I'm very interested in what it is that you've been working on, because you've been gaining some real results. If this didn't connect with you and Gemini's your sun, please feel free to check your other sign placements. What's active for you might be happening somewhere else in your chart. Also, the extended readings are available on the Patreon, so if you're interested in the extended reading, I'll put the link in the description so you can head over there. And also, if you haven't checked in on Tea Time and Tarot, it's a daily, Monday through Friday, tarot readings that I've committed to doing for the year. So if you'd like to follow along, journal along, check in every once in a while, catch up on the weekends. It's been about a month that I've been doing it, and I can tell you, especially processing inner resistance and doubt and intimidation of progress, it's definitely helped me keep me on track and realign with my intention and sort of get out of my own way and trust a little bit more in myself and what's possible for me. So you can check that out as well. That's the playlist is on the main channel. I'll link it at the end of the video as well. That's all I have for you now. I will either see you in the extendeds, or I will see you next time, Gemini. Have a fantastic February. Bye.